So now we have to slowly increase our complexity, our application's complexity. So now we are going to look into more complex application, a multi-tier application which consists of lot of services, that is a vProfile application. So this consists of memcached, mysql, and databases, Apache Tomcat, and Elasticsearch. A lot of services it consists of, and that we are gonna do. So first we'll see the architecture of that application before we working on that. So it consists of following services: AWS ALB, so that will be attached when we create the services in Kubernetes. So take out that. Other than that, Tomcat is our application server that is going to have that's going to host our serve our application. Then RabbitMQ, it's a broker or querying agent. Then we have memcached or DB caching, Elasticsearch for indexing or search service. Then MySQL, it's a SQL database. So let's the setup should be in this order: MySQL database, Memcache, RabbitMQ, Tomcat. That's application service, and we will see the web profile, vProfile web architecture here. So this is public network on left side, and then from the public network, so we'll use a load balancer specifically in the public network, or else we can this load balancer can be created through the this load balancer can be created internally inside our AWS CLB Elastic Load Balancing that we are going to use, and this is what. So this will be connected with a app tier Tomcat, the front end page that we are going to see. So that's the front end page, Tomcat, and once that is done, we are able to access. Then remaining all are internally connected. So the backend services such as queuing will be with the RabbitMQ, Elasticsearch, that's indexing with Elasticsearch, and we have databases MySQL and MongoDB, and we have caching, database caching, memcache D. This is our architecture. So now let's get into the action. So let's write down the steps that we are going to follow. So in our sticky note, so it's a vProfile, multi-tier, multi-tier vProfile project, and steps. Step 1, we have to spin a cluster. So basically we have to set up a COPS Kubernetes cluster, or set up a Kubernetes cluster using COPS. That's the first step. And step 2, we need a volumes. So create volumes and attach them in definition file for DB. Basically for database we require more volumes, so that's the reason we are going to go with that. Then once that is done, so we will start writing all the definition files, such as secret file first, which consists of passwords and usernames of all the databases: Memcache, MySQL, MongoDB, and MariaDB, whatever it may be, all. Okay. Then after that we will write DB deployment definition, database deployment definition. Then after that we will write database service definition, Then after that we will write memcache deployment and service definition both. So memcached deployment and service definition files. Then after that rabbitmq deployment and service definition file. Then tomcat, our hero, tomcat deployment and service, again all service, so that they can internally connect it. Basically it's very it's a complicated to show in figure also. That's the reason I'm not showing on the figure, but you should be able to get it. And once it is done, we will create objects, all the objects using respective definition files. And then we will access our app and validate it. Then final step, cleaning. So that's what we are gonna do. So here we will write our files, we will write all the definition files in local machine and we will push them into the GitHub repo. Okay, that's what we are gonna do. So let's begin our steps one by one. Step one is to set up a Kubernetes cluster using kops. I have already set up this one in our previous exercise. If you haven't set up this, kindly watch that video and come back here with the Kubernetes cluster setup. I will show you that. So this is my I'll get back to that EC2 dashboard and instance is running. These three are my Kubernetes cluster. This is master, this is node, and this is node. These two are working nodes and one is master node. So our cluster setup is done. So now the second step is to create a volume, so and attach them for a definition file in DB. So I will get back to our EC2 instance and not here. Yeah, here. So scroll down a bit and elastic block storage, you can see that. I'll click on this, open link on new tab, and let me close this. Yeah, you could see that I have created one block storage. That's this, it's a recent one, GP2 type, 3 GB and IOPS. So if you want to create new one, you can create it from manually from here, saying how much size you want. And GP2 general purpose SSD and IOPS availability zone US West 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, whichever you want, and don't create a volume from a snapshot, and you can create it anyway. I have created it already, so I'll get back to my volumes and this is the one. I'll select it and I'll scroll down a bit. I'll copy the volume ID. Yeah, here is that, my volume ID. So, and it's in US West 2A. So I'll put it here because I'm gonna use this later. So it's a volume ID, I'll paste it, and zone is US West 2A. Okay, fine. So that's, we have created our volume, and zone is also we have taken the zone. So if you specifically want to label, you can also do that. Okay, let's create our own labels at the same time. So let me clear the screen. So let me say kubectl get nodes and show labels. You see that? You can find out the labels here. It's zone US West 2A. So total we have three nodes. One is T3.small and T3.small. These two these are two working nodes. These are US West 2A and US West 2B, and other one is US West 2A. So one is in US West 2A, other one is US West 2B. So we can use this labels as a zone, but still if you want to attach the uh, specifically zones, you can do that. But for that, what I can do is kubectl get node get nodes. So these are our nodes. Now we're gonna describe this to get the complete details about the node. Okay, so let me say kubectl describe node, and I'll copy that. The first one, it's a working node. I'll copy this one and I'll paste it here, and I'll set up a pipe, and I'll grep US East, sorry, US West 2. Okay, that's my mistake. US West 2. And you see that we got that it's US West, it's 2B. Okay, this machine belongs to US West 2B. So now let's label it. Say kubectl label nodes, and let me select any one. So I will take this is the first one only I'm going to take, and I'll put it here, and I will label it as dot US West, and it's 2. I'll label it as US West, it's zone equals to US West 2A. No, this is 2B, US West 2B. So I don't want this. I want the one where we have created a volume so that I can attach that. So I'll take the third one, I think. So third one is in US West 2A. I think you see that, the third one. Let me cross check that also. I'll US West, I'll remove this from here node, and I'll copy this third node, a second working node. I'll paste it here. Yes, this is in US West 2A. So now I will label it. So kubectl label and node, I'll paste that, and then zone. So that's how I want to label it, zone US West 2A. So this I want to attach. So it's been labeled. You can see that kubectl get nodes. So this has been properly labeled. The third one, B7. Okay, let me write that also. It's node B7 is in US West 2A. That also I'm going to attach here. Okay, zone US West 2A. Okay, so step 2 is done. Now step 3 is to create definition files in local machine, and we have to push it into the GitHub. For that, what I'm going to do is first I'll create a GitHub account, GitHub repository, and then I'll start writing the files in local machine. So let's get into that. So where is my GitHub? Let me open it here. GitHub login, sorry, okay. So let me go to my repository, your repositories. Inside your repositories, I'll click new, and I will say Wipro Cube, and Wipro application multi-tier app deployment using Kubernetes. So production ready cluster using Kubernetes production ready cluster. Production level cluster. Okay, so let me make it a public repo so you people can also access this. So I'll create a repository. Then let me get back to the directories. So here I'll first, at this place I'll open VS Code, clone a Git repository, search, and it's Wipro Cube, and I will select the destination. Okay, that would be longer. So I'm going to select in like projects. It's where is it? K8. Inside that K8, yeah, here. So let me select this as a repository destination. So open in the same window. So now let me get back to that repository destination. I think it's here. K8 and vprofile and viprocube. Here you should see viprocube. So let's get into our VS Code now. So this is vprofile project. This is our source code. And let me get into the VS Code, and our source code is absolutely ready. So now we will start writing our definition files one by one. Writing our definition files, we will begin with the secret app secret.aml. So the folder, let me create a folder for that. Kubernetes or Kubernetes. Okay, you got that cube, and then I'll enter inside that, and here I am gonna create my first file. You see that it's nested inside that, so it's inside that file. Okay, inside that folder. So the name I'm gonna give is app secret.aml. So kind is going to be secret only. Yeah, that's it. Now let me add data one by one. So kind secret metadata, name of this secret file, name of this secret object, I'm gonna give as app secret. These are the secrets of our app. So that's the reason I gave it as app secret. Then opaque, type is opaque. Now let's give a password information. Okay. So data. So we have two types. One is for the DB pass, MySQL, and so let me get that in an encrypted one. So for that I have to get into my EC2 instance, that cops. So here, so one password I'll say vprodb. Let me see, two passwords I have decided. vprodb, the initial one is, yeah, let me copy this vprodb and say echo and paste it here as a string and pipeline it to pipe it with base 64. We have discussed about this in our previous videos in detail, how to encode, how to decode and everything, so you can go through that. So let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, so then we have one more, the second one. This time it's RMQ, RabbitMQ pass, that's the name. And for that, what I've decided, I have decided to go with guest. So let me copy this and get into it, and let me, yeah, paste it here. So encrypting it, and okay, that's the wrong one. I want to go with the guest. I think it's password guest. Okay, now let me copy this jet3v1c, yeah, and paste it here and save this file. Our secret app secret.yaml file is ready, and in our videos we also have discussed how to create secret object. So, okay, now what will we do is we will save this and get to this, and let's add this change to the staging area, and once the changes has been added, then we will commit. Okay, so changes has been added, so let me committing the secret definition file. Let me commit this. Okay, sync changes. Let me get into my GitHub, refresh it, and you should see cube. So inside you should see app.secretml. So let me get back and copy this. So I'll get into my EC2 instance and clear the screen. And here I will install git and I'll clone that. So apt update apt install git option y. So install, so git clone and http URL. So not here, I will clone it into somewhere else. So let me enter into cd root def defs cop and ls. So here I am going to create one more directory. This is vipro cube. Vipro is fine. Vipro. Oh, sorry, that's not. ls cd rm rf vipro and clear the screen. mkdir vipro. Now let me enter into vipro ls. Now let me do the git clone and paste it here. Enter. So it's been cloned. Let me check ls cd vipro cube ls, and you see that we got that pom.xml and we got the cube directory. So let me enter into the cube directory and do ls. We have that app.secretml. So let me apply this kubectl, apply option F and app.secretml. So our app secret has been created. So let me call that kubectl get and secrets. And here is that app secret. It consists of data 10 seconds ago and its type is opaque. Let me describe this so that we can see that kubectl get secret and then it's app secret. Yeah, sorry, I need to say describe. I want to describe it now, not getting it. I want to describe it. You see that? Now you got it. So it consists of two data points. One is db pass, and 11 bytes. Another one is rmq pass. It's a 6 bytes. Okay. So that's how we have created our app secret object from the app secret.aml definition file. So let's write remaining files also. So let me get to the explorer. So now I'm gonna write a second file. This time this is a database deployment file. Okay, so database deployment file. The name I'm gonna say is vipro db dep.ml. So this is a deployment file, vipro db. So I'll say kind and dep. It's ready. Template is ready. Let me go up. Yeah. So rest all. Okay. Yep. So metadata. Okay. So metadata. So name. I'm gonna say vipro db. That's the name. Vipro db. And labels. I'm gonna attach the labels to it. So labels app again vipro db. Then we have spec selector match labels. I'll change it to vipro db. Then template replicas I am going to attach about the template. I can temp replicas, it's 1. Then template metadata labels. Here I'm going to attach wiprodb, and spec containers. So here I will write, I'll give this name wiprodb, and image. I will bring the image. Just a minute. We'll get into my Docker Hub. So Docker repository, you could see that kubecheren, wiprodb, and version 2 see all, and copy this and paste it here and remove this one, initial 2 commands, Docker commands. Yes, our image is also ready. So 2 more things we're going to add. That's below the image, args, that's arguments. We'll say ignore db dir equal to lost plus found. Clear? So then we will go for the volume mounts, directly volume mounts. Volume mounts, yes, we got it. And mount path is /var and lib mysql. That's what the mount path of uh, mysql, and the name I'm gonna give is wiprodb data. wiprodb data. Then we have port. After that we'll attach our ports. So ports, okay, anyway we have that, we will have the template at the bottom, that section port section. In ports I'm gonna give the container port as 3306, and I'll attach a name to that. So container port, name wiprodb port. Yeah, that's wiprodb data. This is wiprodb wiprodb port. Yeah, and let me remove this one. It's not a list now anymore. So yeah, that's it. Ports is done. Now let me attach environment variable. Env name is very important. This mysql, or else you cannot run database itself. mysql root password, and we will get it from, so value from secret keyref, and name is app secret. Oh, that's what we have created now. And db pass, 2 things. Okay, then we'll go for the node selector. So if you remember, node selector at level of container, let me go up, scroll up, let me find out the level. Yeah, okay, I think this is what the level of container. Yeah, so node selector I'm gonna give node selector and zone. Okay, let me look into our this one. And what's the zone? Zone is US West 2A. US West 2A. Then volumes. We have to attach the volumes section. So name of that is Wipro DB data. It's there on top itself. Wipro DB. Yeah. And so from where we want to attach that AWS block store. So AWS Elastic Block Store, correct? So now we need to give that volume. So again, this is, we have saved that ID. Yeah, this is, here is that volume ID. Volume ID. Let me paste it here. Then file system type, FS type. It's ext4. So fine, everything is okay. So now let me remove that resources which are not required. That's here. Yeah. So absolutely fine. Rest all. So let me save this. Then, so next file is db service. Because our deployment is ready, next we are going to create db service. So db, and I'll say cip.yaml. So this is a kind service, and yeah, so API kind service name I'll give Wipro DB. So name I'll give it Wipro DB, and selector. So before that, let me add inside the spec. I'm gonna add more data. That's a ports. The first one is ports. Ports port. So 3306. Then let me add a target port. Yep, it's Wipro DB port. That's what we have mentioned in that Wipro DB port. Yes, this is correct. Wipro DB port. Then protocol. Let's add protocol. TCP. Yeah, done. Then followed by selector. Selector, I have to give the Wipro DB. Yeah. Then okay, I missed this. Then after that, let me attach the type of service. That's a cluster IP. So that's it. Absolutely fine. Let me save this also. So our app secret.yaml Wipro DB deployment and Wipro DB service is done. So now memcache. Next one is memcache. So memcache MC and CIP dot YAML. Sorry, YAML. So memcache. This is again memcache service. I'll say kind. No, I'll just copy this from GB, so it will be much easier to handle. And memcache, paste it here. So the name will change, just Wipro Cache 01. cache 01 and spec port I will attach 1111211. These are default port, and this is Wipro MC port, and we have TCP, and app name is Wipro MC and cluster IP. Let me save this. Then we have memcache deployment now. So we'll create the memcache deployment. Memcache dep.yaml. So here I'll copy this code, that Wipro DB. Then we'll put it in memcache dip, and let's scroll up. And so deployment and name is Wipro MC. That's what we have mentioned here. You see that MC service. This is service basically. Here we have mentioned the same Wipro cache 01, and so this is the name is Wipro MC, and the service name is Wipro cache 01, and the selector, the app will be selected from the Wipro MC1, and that's what is Wipro MC. Then we have app is Wipro MC again. Then app labels Wipro MC. Then we have one more label, that's also Wipro MC. Then spec, that's it here, not much. So container, name of the container we gonna attach as a Wipro MC only. Then image we'll get it from Docker Hub, default one, that's memcache d, memcache d. Then orgs are not required, this is default. Volume mount is not required, so let's directly go for the port and ports and the port name. Okay, let me, yeah, orgs, yeah, ports, name of the port, what is that, what we have mentioned, name of the port is Wipro MC port. That's what I'm gonna give here, Wipro MC port, and the port number is 11211, and is not required, rest all. Let me remove that. So that's it, it's clear, it's ready now. Let me save this. Then next file is RabbitMQ deployment, rmq dep.yaml. So let me copy this memcache deployment definition file and paste it here. So let me scroll up first, and name I'm gonna change it to R Wipro MQ01. So I'll change it to Wipro MQ01. So then other one, Wipro MQ01. Then this one, Wipro MQ01. Here also Wipro MQ01. So containers, the container name we are gonna give as Wipro MQ01 again. Yeah, and image is again official image from Docker Hub. So rabbit MQ with latest tag, and port name Wipro MQ01 port. So Wipro MQ and 01, that's the port name, and then port container port is 15672. 15, that's the default one, 15672. And in addition to that, we want to add env. So environment variable. So name, first one is rabbit mq default pass, and value from, we will directly attach the secret key ref. So secret key ref. So name is app secret and key is rmq pass. So this is the name of the secret, and this is key, that's rmq pass. And then what we have is one more name, that's rabbit mq default user. So we have to give the default user now, rabbit mq default user. Value, it's guest. That's it. We have provided the environment variables also. Superb. So now let me save this. So now it's time to write rabbitmq service file. Rabbitmq service file. So rabbitmq cip.aml. So let me copy this from mccip and come to this and paste it here. So name of this is vipromq01, vipromq01, and port 15672. Then here Wipro MQ, just let me check Wipro, where is that deployment? MC RMQ deployment. Port is name Wipro MQ01 port. Yeah, Wipro MQ01 port, correct. Then we have TCP, then here Wipro MQ01, then cluster IP, and save this. And next, after this Wipro MQ, so what else we are left with? So RabbitMQ, okay. Okay, main thing. So Tomcat, Mcache deployment is done. So then Wipro app, the main one, Wipro app deployment and Wipro app service. So let's write Wipro app deployment first. Wipro app dep.aml. So it will be a longer one. So Wipro app deploy aml. Let me scroll up and let me copy this from db, Wipro db dep. Okay, that's Wipro app. This is Wipro db. Let me copy this and paste it here. Let's scroll. Yeah, step by step will come. Kind deployment, then Wipro app. The name I'm going to attach Wipro app. Then again Wipro app. Then Wipro app. Then Wipro app. So replica. So replicas, I will keep it one only. So now the action starts. So containers. Let me come to the containers. Wipro app. Name of the container is Wipro app again. And image, I'm gonna get it from my Docker Hub account. So repositories and Wipro app, and I'll go with the version 2. So see all this tag version 2. Let me copy this and paste it here. So remove this Docker commands. Yeah, that's it. And args and port mapping we will do first. So port mapping. So name of the port is Wipro app port. Wipro app port. That's what the name I have given to it. And container port is 8080. Then, so that's one. Then init container we have to start exactly below this. Init container. So init containers. So name of that is init mydb. So what I'm gonna use is image busy box. So busy box, that's also busybox official website, and latest tag it's gonna take. So command, let me get back and open the square bracket, and inside that sh and option C. So until ns look up Wipro db do echo waiting for my db. That's what, waiting for my db, and sleep to done. Okay, so that's one, and we will do one more in it. Name init memcache. This is for memcache. So memcache, that's the name we have given. And image, again busybox. Then command, let me put the command here. Yeah, sh option C, and until ns lookup Wipro cache 01, cache 01 do echo waiting for my db sleep to done. And we have and few more things to be edited. That's it. No environment variable specifically here. Let me remove this. Node selector is not required. That's only for db, mysql db. Let me scroll up, and volume mounts is also not there. This basically this args. So after the name and image, directly port, nothing else. So mounts are not required. So let me remove that. Let me save that. So Wipro app deployment is ready. Now it's time to create Wipro app service. So Wipro app service dot ml. So let me copy from something else, mc, whichever is fine, and Wipro app service ml. Yeah, name is Wipro app service, then ports 80, then target port. What's the name we have given? Wipro app port. Let me cross check that. Wipro app deep deployment and Wipro app port. Okay, superb. So now Wipro app port and protocol is TCP. Selector is Wipro app. Now Wipro app. Then type is load balancer. This is very important, very important. So load balancer, from here we are going to access from, because this is our front end. I'll show you that slide one more time. Yeah, here it is. Let me make it bigger. Yep, this is that service I'm talking about. This is that load balance service. From here only we are able to access. So this one will be, so app, tomcat app is attached. Basically this is the front end of whole application, and this front end is mapped with our load balancer. And load balancer, once you access this load balancer, the front end will be exposed. Then from the front end you are able to access the back end. So now let me get into that. Let me write. Okay, that's the load balancer type service is only for our Wipro app. So with this, our activity is completed. That second step 2. Here step 3, writing all the definition files in local machine and pushing them into the GitHub repository. So let me push it into the GitHub repo. So add these changes to the staging area and committing all the definition files. Let me commit it. Save changes. So get into here. So Docker Hub, sorry, GitHub, and you see that cube. Here is that. All the files have come. All the files. Okay. So we have completed all the steps. So now it's time to, so we have written all our definition files. So now it's time to create all the objects using respective definition files. So let me get into our instance, our cops machine. So here, so I have recloned the complete repository, and now you should be able to see all the files, app.secret.ml, everything, all the files you should be able to see now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create all the definition files at one go. Okay, so let me say kubectl apply. So I'm not saying create, because when I say create, it may say it may throw error sometimes if one or two objects are created before. So that's why I'm gonna say apply and then F. So I'll say dot. So that's it. All has been successfully created. You should see that. So now let me say kubectl get all. Oh, that's too much. Okay, total 4 pods. Okay, at to start init. Okay, let's wait for that. 2 pods are running, Wipro MC and Wipro MQ. So memcache and 2 pods are absolutely well. They're running well. And Wipro app had to be started. It's init 0 by 2. And Wipro DB is yet to start. It's pending. Then coming to the services, we have 5 services. Kubernetes, the first one is default. So we have 4 services: Wipro MQ01 and DB, Wipro DB and cache, Memcache, RabbitMQ and database. Out of which Wipro app, the main one, front end Tomcat app, was basically exposed, used load balancer type, remaining all are cluster type. So load balancer type, and it's still pending. Let me get into that AWS and check what's the status there. So EC2, click on load balancer, open link in new tab, and here, yes, our load balancer is started just now. You see that time? Just now. So let me click on, and we'll check up the health. We'll do the health checkup. Okay, rest all fine. Status 0 of 0 instances in service. Go to the instances. Yep, not yet started. They are in a right zone, but they haven't started. Health checkup is going on. Unhealthy threshold is 2. So listeners, HE 31817. Okay, that's fine. Let's get back to the uh, cops and we'll see. Okay, so these are about our services. And here we have deployments. We have 4 deployments: Wipro app, Wipro DB, Wipro MC, Wipro MQ01, RabbitMQ, Memcache, database MySQL, and main app. So all okay, 2 are up and running, whereas one is up to date and it will take some time. Let's wait for that. And finally, we have replica sets. Again, 4 replica sets. 4 replica sets. Okay, these are ready, and Wipro app and Wipro DB are not yet ready. So with deployment definition file, we got replica set and we got pod also. So now let's cross check and see the condition. Okay, Wipro DB, Wipro app init, there is some issue, I guess it's not getting. So even Wipro DB also not started. So I have figured out and I have solved that problem. The problem here is, let me do the cat of Wipro db dep.ml. If you scroll down here, so this is where we faced an issue basically. Yeah, yeah, here. This A was missing. Because of that, we were unable to start the deployment of that container. Okay, and here this is what we have attached, and this is that volume we want to add. Okay, this is the volume ID. You see that volume ID here, vol 01D3CC. So everything is fine now at this moment. So basically our container at that app, vprofile app pod, it starts after db starting. So that's what, let me do the cat of vprofile app dip.ml. You see that you have 2 side containers and 1 side container. Okay, let me scroll down. Yeah, you have 2 side container. One is init mydb and second one is init memcache. So I think memcache was able to start, but init mydb was unable to start because until unless the database sets up, until unless the database has been created, all changed, and rerun it. So let me say kubectl get all, and here it is. All pods are up and running. You can see that Wipro DB is 1 by 1, Wipro MC 1 by 1, and it's running. And even our services, Wipro app service is external IP is also available. That means our load balancer is also up. So no problem. So it's all up and running. So now you can see that even replica sets all are running. So let me say kubectl get svc. One more time. Yeah, here you see that this I'll get into my load balancer, and here you could see that instances, it's up and running. Two instances, you see two instances. Now let me get into this, copy this, and I'm gonna paste, and I'm gonna paste here, and refresh it. Finally, here it is, after a long struggle, after a lot of troubleshooting. Finally we got our application here. So with that, we are also able to deploy a multi-tier web stack application using Kubernetes. So now the final step for us is to, so we have created objects, we have validated it, and now it's time to clean up. Let me start the cleanup. Let me get into my server. So I'll say git, sorry, kubectl, delete one by one. I will start with the services, and wipro db, and wipro mq01, and wipro cache 01, and wipro app service. That's it, it's been deleted. So remaining things also will be deleted, and that's it. The cleaning also is almost is going to be finished, and now I will put you this. So deploying multi-tier vProfile application is successful.